A possible addition of a new petrol dealer is not in the best interest of the general public. That's according to Managing Director of Jn.Marie and Sons, Everistus Jn.Marie. The argument that more competition within the industry might work out in the favor of the buyer was swiftly shot down by Jn.Marie, who gives insight into the controlled system of the petrol industry.
Well, there's been lots of, I would say, anecdotal evidence that there is likely to be a new player in the petroleum retail market. So a new marketing company is believed to is coming into the marketplace. It may sound counterintuitive, but it is not in the best interest of the consumers, because the entrance of a new player is, in the long term, is likely to cause an increase in the price of fuel. And let me explain why. Fuel is a control item. The margins are determined by government. So dealers have no control over this, and if you allow more players to come into the market, it means that you're going to reduce the volume available to individual operators, and in the process you're going to reduce the level of income, because you're going to be selling lots, because whatever is there has to be shared among more people. And the moment that happens, then pressure is placed on the viability of the existing stations. And of course, the next point would be these operators will approach the government for an increase in margins, which will lead to an increase in the price of fuel.
The businessman argues that any economic benefit drawn from the addition of a new retailer will be short-lived. He backs up his claim by asserting the continued feasibility of vulnerable southern stations may be at risk.
Any new operator is unlikely to take over existing operators, because most retailers are already in long-term contractual relationship with the existing marketing companies, the Sol and Rubis, and where they are not, the Sol and Rubis own the gas stations, so they're not going to let it off to a competitor. So the only way they can operate, any new player can operate, is to open new gas stations. And in opening new gas stations, the scope for operation is very limited. There's not much room in the Castro in the northern area to do so. So it means that they'll have to be somewhere south of Castries, which are where very vulnerable operators exist, because they're operating almost at break-even point. So you come in there, and what you've done is effectively make their business less viable. So, and like I said, the pressure would then be brought on government to increase margins to bring them up to a level of viability.
Jn.Marie says consultation should be carried out with the stakeholders of the petroleum industry when and if decisions of this nature are taken.
The sensible thing to do is to have consultation with the existing operators, so that you do that in a very organized and stable way. To do that unilaterally is only likely to cause disruption, and like I said, at the end of the day, dealers will come together and demand more from the government, and which will have implications for consumers. So it's not in the best interest of the consumers, and in some ways not even in the best interest of government themselves, because the higher the price of fuel, the less room there is for government to charge taxes on fuel.
Do you have any information as to who that player might be? Or
yeah, I've heard the names. It's a company called Delta. I'm not sure it's quite of its origin, but I know they operate in St. Kitts. I've seen that operation in St. Kitts. And they're very much in the Leeward Islands area of operation. So that's as much as I know.
Petrol dealer stands firm that any perceived economic gain and employment boost with the addition of a new petrol dealer on island will not be sustainable for the public and government. Solange Alfred, HTS News Force.